I've got a great tip to save you money by keeping your acrylics fresh for a long time. Hi there, I'm Janine. I'm an artist and I share my creative journey on this channel. A great thing about working with acrylics is that they dry fast and you can layer on top of them quickly. The downside is that the paint dries out on your palette quickly too, and you end up with a lot of paint wasted. That's why I love using a stay wet palette, and you can easily make your own. Let me show you how. I get a lot of questions about my painting palette, so I thought I'd show you today. You need a tray of some sort. It could be any kind of tray that repels water. So this is a plastic tray. I've also had a baking tray before. You could use one of those cafeteria trays, which are also plastic. This is actually from the craft store. It's quite big, probably almost A3 size. So you need one of these. Then you want some either paper towel, or you could also use some sort of cloth, which I've used in the past because I wanted it to be more sustainable, but it does start smelling after a while, so we'd have to wash it super frequently. So I'll just try and use as little kitchen roll as possible. So we use even just a couple of sheets is fine. So one sheet is probably not enough, but 2 usually holds enough liquid. So put the paper towel in here, and then you want to soak this with water. So you pour water on top of your paper towel and just wait till it's kind of soaked in everywhere. You don't want it to be super dripping, but you do want the whole piece soaked.
If you like this video, consider subscribing.
And then next you need some tracing paper. You could also use baking paper, works the same, which is probably cheaper. And you simply put that on top of your wet kitchen towel or paper towel. And what it will do now, it will kind of start to roll up like this, because only one side is wet currently, but it will slowly soak a little bit through the paper, the water. So you just have to keep on stroking it down. Actually, I'll show you this way around. That's probably easier to see. And eventually it will just lie flat. So the reason why I love this as a palette is because the water of the paper towel will slowly evaporate through the paper. And the paper's not completely wet, it's just slightly damp all of the time. So if I now put some acrylic paint on here, you just plop on your colors like on a normal palette. On any other palette, for example like a plastic sheet palette or glass or anything other than this, your paint is now going to start to dry. So you probably have, I don't know, an hour maybe before it dries up. But in this case, because the water keeps on evaporating through, your paint will stay moist for hours and hours. And if you have another tray, then what you can do is you can put that on top as a lid, which means the moisture can't really get out. So this will stay good overnight. So you can leave it overnight, go back the next day and paint. You could even leave it for more than overnight, but eventually it obviously will start to get a bit gross. And that's why I love using this type of palette. And if you paint with acrylics, I really suggest you use that too. Have I convinced you to give the Stay Wet palette a go? Let me know what palette you're using in the comments below. If you're just starting out and want to know the basics of acrylic paint, watch the video I've linked in the description box. Thanks and bye bye.